Are you familiar with the term data protection? Do you have any information about yourself that you want protected from anyone else? Have you ever felt unsure about your privacy? Don't worry, you are not alone. For decades, the world has been talking about the protection of personal data. In 2022, there is an anticipated data protection bill to be passed. As #generation, we thought we should explore this new and developing area of data protection law. So what are the 3 key takeaways from this video? The first is to understand and recognize your data rights in digital spaces. The second is to understand and be able to hold accountable third parties who collect your personal information. The third is to understand the Data Protection Bill, its key provisions, and some concerns and recommendations about the bill. So first off, what is personal data? This could be any information that identifies you, directly or indirectly. This could be as simple as your online handle or as complex as your biometrics. This could be a range of other things. This includes the doctors you channel, your bank account details, your location and the places you go, your ethnicity or religion, your personal beliefs, the music you listen to, and many other things. One would normally think that we could control what we do with the information about ourselves. However, that is not always the case. Data is a very valuable resource in this digital era. What's happening right now and what has been happening for decades is that third parties have been using your information for various purposes without your consent. In this context, legislation is important to determine who can use your personal data and to what extent. So this proposed bill has 2 main objectives. The first, it recognizes your ownership over your own data. This means that you can decide what you do with your own information. The second, it establishes that you have to give consent to a third party to use your personal data. This is a key shift away from the current situation where your data is used without your consent. When the bill mandates third parties to approach you for your consent to use your data, this means that they have to get approval to collect, store, alter, or use your information. Now, this might sound quite complicated. Random people reaching out to you to be able to use your information. However, this has been happening for a long time without you being aware of it. The obtaining of permission could be included in really long terms and conditions documents that you would click agree upon without actually reading them. Under the new legislation, the third parties should disclose to you why they are collecting your information and how they will use such information. It also limits the period of time that they can possess and use the information. This ultimately gives you power over your own information. After consenting to any third party to use your data, you can also inquire from them how that data is used. You can ask them to amend or rectify that data and for that data to be erased. You can also take away the consent that you gave for the data to be used by them in the first place. Now, there can be instances where third parties refuse to abide by your requests or do not follow the procedures given under the law. Data rights law is all about protecting your privacy and giving you control over your information. So if someone violates your rights under the law, it also gives you the options for redress. This could be by referring your complaint to the Data Protection Authority that is established under the bill and/or by going to court. However, there are also some concerns about this bill. One is that there is a possibility that the Right to Information Act, which enables transparency and accountability in governance, to be overridden by this new bill. Two is that if the Data Protection Authority established under this bill is not free and independent of government control, the redress mechanisms would become obsolete. Finally, this bill should expressly recognize journalists collecting information as a legitimate purpose of processing data, so that this bill will not hinder citizens' right to access information.